in this major, you know, looking at the patterns of development in Puerto Rico, this is something that I always expected, but having it happen is, it's really, you're connected with the rest of the world. You know, you're not, you know, it doesn't matter if you have citizenship, it doesn't matter if you're a territory of the U.S., you finally feel what everybody's experiencing throughout the world and throughout these pockets in the United States. And for me, every time that passed, I couldn't focus on my homework. I kept checking the news. I kept WhatsApping my cousin, no response. WhatsApping my aunt, no response. And just kept getting like this, like, what do you do? You know, there's nothing you could do. And I tried reaching to some other Puerto Rican communities and their efforts. But I kept noticing that the approach that we're having was not very sustainable. It was working with the networks that there were problems with already in terms of the distribution of aid. The way that they were distributing was kind of hard because you couldn't access certain areas. There was also a lot of hoarding of resources. So I felt a little desperate. I didn't know what to do. I reached out to Bryan, and then I met the rest of the SPA group, and it's been a sense of relief. But I'm not gonna lie that, you know, I think this was early October. The access to water was only like 30 to 40%. It has somewhat progressed, but even still, the whole concept of progress it's really, really false, because when I check the status of the electricity, for example, it shows that 60% of the island has electricity, and you look at the map and it covers most of the map. But then my grandmother, my neighbors, my friends still don't have power. The government says that people have access to clean water, and then it says, well, you have to boil the water. So that's not really clean water if you have to boil the water and you don't have any diesel. And in Puerto Rico, there's definitely, you know, different levels of inequality, and, you know, people in the margins have gotten it the worst. You know, they're still living in shelters. They have come here, and they're living in shelters here. There's no place to go. And when I reached out to Bryan and I had this idea of, you know, can we do something with the water that's sustainable? I will go home, you know, I will go to sleep, and I wake up like at 4 in the morning. Shit, what am I doing? Like, you know, how do you find money for this? You know, how do you organize this? And this like, you know, regretting, kind of like thinking that I had a responsibility to my community. So I think it was really, really a blessing to meet you guys, and I think that this is not the last time this is going to happen. This is going to keep happening in the U.S. and abroad, and I think that, you know, working together, we can be more resilient and sustainable in how we respond to these disasters. But that's what I have to say. So.